I would say the generosity of God is inconceivable.
So what blows my mind is that when he gives out of generosity, he already knows how screwed up you are and like how much of a letdown you're going to be.
But then when I'm on the receiving end of this undeserving, abundant generosity, then I'm a pretty big fan of the system.
Yeah, because maybe you actually are wanting to flow through me in this generous way, but I'm too busy to notice, and B, I just don't have time.
The best part is we do not serve a stingy God. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to what?
To episode 10 of the podcast.
Episode 10.
Double digits of season 3.
We're back.
Of course we're back.
JD's back.
We come back every week.
Come back every week, every Tuesday. On a YouTube channel near
If
you.
you cheers your glass and don't drink from it,
So
is that, what is that? Is that bad?
I just took a sip.
I just often wonder. Lots of people cheers and then they don't actually take the sip.
You were probably killed back in the day if you didn't do that. Because here's why I heard people cheers.
Yeah.
Because it was a sign of, what's the word? Like you weren't trying to double cross or kill one another.
Oh,
so like
so
poison,
you had to take the sip.
You know, like
Yeah.
if I put poison in Marika's drink, I'm like, haha, she's gonna drink it and die. Like the cheersing, you did it aggressively to where like,
It would
beer,
splash
it
in
would
each
spill
spilled the
other.
poison
all
in
over.
yours. So if you didn't take the sip, then you're on the hook.
Yeah, so then if we cheers and Marika takes a sip and I'm just sitting there, she's wondering like, whoa.
You killing me?
Yeah, what's
Wow.
going on?
Yeah.
You know a lot of random things about a lot of random.
Yeah, somebody fact check me in the comments. I could be totally
that is
wrong,
real.
but
That's true because I
I've
also
heard
know
it.
that. So that's 2 for 2.
Wow.
So either we both believe the same lie or it's real. At what point does that theory stop working for you?
I don't know. It's inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Great quote. Good reference.
Thank you.
Very funny.
I didn't get it.
Oh, come on.
It was really funny.
The guy in the
Is this
Princess
Princess
Bride?
Bride?
Yeah.
I knew this
When
would
he
be Princess
dies.
Bride.
the thing, and he kept saying inconceivable.
Yes. Okay. I
Great
get
movie.
it now. I should have known.
It's okay. You'll get it next time.
Okay.
Speaking of inconceivable,
I was gonna say, how does that play in?
well, I would say the generosity of God is inconceivable.
That's actually quite profound. I would agree with you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Maybe we can break that down today.
Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about it more.
So we've been working through characteristics of God,
Mm-hmm.
and today we are focusing on this idea that God is generous, or
Mhm.
also self-giving, which I think is the same thing, but
Feels different.
same but different.
Same
But
but
this idea
different.
that yes, God is generous, God is self-giving.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we start? In the beginning?
Oh, that's not where I was going to start, but
That's
I'm okay
not.
with it.
That's
No.
not. Oh, okay.
That's where I want to start.
Great. Do it.
Wow.
Well, it's kind of wild if you think about creation.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the very beginning, there was nothing there. And already God is like abundance,
Mm-hmm.
like the creation of beauty and the creation of light and the creation of everything that we now experience and the garden and all of that. And then when you look at it and you go, he places Adam in the garden
Mm-hmm.
and he gives him like crazy abundance.
Yeah.
Like generosity is all around. Hey, all the food that is here, all the plants, you can have
It's
it all,
yours.
right?
You can name it.
all the animals. And it was like he gave Adam everything before
Yeah.
Adam did anything.
Ooh, that's a good line.
So it's this whole idea that God was generous from the beginning. Like Adam didn't earn it. He just showed up and experienced the generosity of God.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. In the beginning. Where were you going to go?
I was going to go,
At the end?
yes.
And
the
then
very end.
I'll pick the middle.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, no. I was going to go just kind of right into, I'm sure we've all actually personally experienced the generosity of God, and those are always cool stories. And so we don't have to start there, but I think at some point we should circle around there because that's pretty fun. It's because he's still generous, not just when he made it. And that's what's cool is like Adam got to experience this full generosity and the fullness of it. And obviously our experience is slightly different, but it didn't stop with him. Like we still get to partake in this abundance and creation and all of that. And in a sense, I think sometimes we take it for granted because we're like, well, this is earth and this is what it looks like. But then you're like, well, this is actually created for us, which when you look at it that way, then becomes something really cool.
Yeah.
And super generous. It's the gift that keeps on giving. What is that commercial? It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Probably K Jewelers or some kind of diamond. Yeah.
You think it's a diamond for
I bet you it's
diamonds?
a jewelry commercial.
Isn't that
Okay.
every something begins with K?
Every
Every
kiss begins with K.
That's
Is
a
it?
different one.
There's
That is
marketing.
it.
That
is it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, marketing's working.
Oh my. Interestingly, I went with the opposite. I went with, my mind immediately went to stinginess. Not that God's stingy, but the thought was like, well, he's definitely not stingy. And it was making me think of, you ever hear the, like a group of people trying to decide on what type of pizza to order? Like, hey, we're going to order 2 large pizzas. What does everybody want? And I think there's been studies on it. It's easier to start with what you don't want and narrow it down, like work that direction, versus trying like, hey, well, what do you want? Like, it's easier to start with removing the negatives. And so for me, my mind went to, it's like, well, God's not stingy. And then I started taking like a mental inventory of like, there's a ton of reasons that prove for me that he's definitely not stingy. He's generous.
Give us a couple.
Well, I mean, everything we've described so far is I mean, he has given us the world. He's given us freedom of choice. So the second thought I had after he's not stingy is thinking about the failures throughout the Old Testament. Like if there's ever a time to withhold or ever a time to be like, you know what, you don't deserve it.
This is one too
right?
many.
Like, we have definitely amassed a multitude of transgressions that would make us ineligible, right?
Yeah.
Like our failures, our turning away from him, our worshiping other idols, like things we do in our own lives. Like life gets nice and easy and we kind of like, oh, hey, I haven't read my Bible in a long time, or I forgot, I haven't prayed in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But he just like, regardless of those, like whatever you want to call them, transgressions, it's like his generosity doesn't cease. It just like nothing hinders it.
I think because his generosity isn't based on us. Like,
oh, that's good.
We are all undeserving.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And in the face of being undeserving, he's still generous, which is wild, because I think we can wrap our brains around, well, I can be generous to those that deserve it.
Yeah.
People that work hard, people that show up, people that are faithful. Of course, I'll be generous to them.
Yeah.
Right? It's the ones that are undeserving where God's generosity shows up, because God's like, hey, I'm not generous because of you.
Yeah.
I'm generous because it's who I am, and nothing changes that. And I think that's when his generosity shines the brightest, when it's in that light of it's so undeserved.
And then we get stuck sometimes in that. That's like the older brother syndrome in the parable of the lost son, where the father comes and has this generous abundance and he's already got all of his half as an inheritance, but he gets back in on it. And then the older brother people are all mad.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful picture, right? The prodigal son goes, gets the inheritance, asks his father, goes and squanders it, right? Just like dumps it, goes and parties and does the thing. He's out
Does
there.
not honor the generosity well at all.
No. Like he's screwed up big time. Like he's at full fault.
Yeah.
Like he deserves nothing more now at this point, and he decides to come home because he's serving, like trying to slop the pigs, and the pigs are eating better than he is.
Yeah.
So he's thinking, well, at least at my father's home, I'll be able to serve him.
His servants are
And
better than
they'll eat better than I'm eating. But then you look at that. That's a beautiful picture of the undeserved generosity of God. The son comes back. What does he deserve? Nothing. He got everything he deserved, like ahead of time even.
Yeah.
And,
in advance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it blew it, right? And so then what does he do? No, he like gives him the ring and the robe and runs out to meet him. And like, this is the generosity of God, right? My son is returned. And then throws like the full on banquet.
Yeah.
Like it's probably a big deal to kill the slaughtered cat, like kill the fattened calf, slaughter the fattened calf.
You've been feeding that thing for a while.
That sounds like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's just like
You don't have a bunch of fattened calves.
No, it's not like,
around.
well, it's Monday night. We should just kill the fattened calf. Like it sounds like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
How fat has how long
How
have you been
fat is it?
fatting
How
this
long?
calf?
Yeah.
So they go out and do this massive celebration that is obviously a really big deal because older brother is not
It's
happy.
choked.
It's like, where's my celebration? Where's my deal? Where's,
Yeah.
because that kid, the younger brother was so undeserving.
Mm-hmm.
And yet here we see a beautiful image of the generosity of God. This is what he's like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about the one with the workers, the hired workers? You know,
In the
where,
vineyard?
yeah, and then, you know, some people
When
some people
they're
showed
showing up at different
first
times.
thing in the
Yeah.
morning, and then some people, I guess, you know, like were brought in
Just before closing.
yeah, an hour before closing, and
Yeah.
then everybody's lined up to get paid. And here are you. You've been in here. You've been in since before the sun rose,
Mm-hmm.
slaving all day, right? And then I show up an hour before closing, and then we're standing in line to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, I get paid the same exact thing as you. Yeah.
That grinds my gears, man.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we did that previous podcast episode on that God is just and that just and fair. Like in my human brain, I go, well, that's not fair. It's not how it works. But then when I'm on the receiving end of this undeserving, abundant generosity, then I'm a pretty big fan of the system. So you're like, isn't that
And
funny?
I believe in that scripture, it says like, are you envious because I'm generous?
Yeah.
Right? Because in the end, God said, hey, come work for me for a day and I'll give you this amount. Like he was true to his word. They just made some new expectations on what it should be.
Yeah.
And then there was like the response in that, are you envious because I'm generous?
Yeah.
You know, that's a great example. I don't know if if this is a digression. That's a perfect example, I think, of that saying of like the problem's not on God's end. God doesn't have any problems on his end. The problem's on your end. You need a mindset shift.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like God, as Amy was saying, God was true to his word.
Yeah.
You know, he kept his promise, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the problem was on your end
Yeah.
because you had expectations of like, well, if I work, I get compensated for my time. Like that was your problem. Like you didn't understand that he was paying everybody equally.
Well, and his generosity isn't earned, because that model isn't an earned based, I worked this many hours, I earned this much, this is what I deserve.
It set the standard.
Yes. And so then you work less hours, so this is what you deserve.
Yeah.
And so then we're back around to this point. God's generosity has nothing to do with what we deserve. It has nothing to do with our capacity to earn it. It's got nothing to do with any of that. Like he was generous from the beginning. He'll be generous at the end. But somewhere along the way, we decided that his generosity is based on what we do, not who he is.
We wanted to systemize it.
Of course.
Right? You want to find a way to make this make sense.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well, if this is this, and then I get this, so then that is that, and then I get that.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to gamify it. You're just trying to find a way to make it work.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, before we started rolling the cameras, how we were having the discussion about the guy who read all the different like biblical, religious text or whatever. Yeah. And he said, hey, they're all kind of the same, or they're all the same except for the Bible. It's different.
Yeah.
And then how we were saying it's like, oh, well, lo and behold, it's like all these other books were written by man.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible was not written by, it was written by man, literally,
yes,
but inspired
pen
by
to
God.
paper, but...
Yes, it's God's word through them, the inspired word of God.
Mm-hmm.
So it's making me think of like, why are all these other religions and all these other books like works-based, right? Because it makes total sense, because we're performance-based of like, you have to do something to earn something. And that's how, if somebody correct me if I'm wrong, all these other religions is like, you have to earn your salvation. You have to earn your righteousness, where Christianity is the only one where it's like, there is no, I've worked hard enough to obtain it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, the only thing you have to do is open your hands and receive. Like that's the only effort required, is to accept the gift that's been freely given to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, his point was like all these other religious texts are primarily just about being a good person, which that's a wonderful thing. We should be good people. God has many wonderful characteristics and we should exemplify those. Like we should be generous and we should be kind and we should be all these things. Live with an abundance mindset, what have you. But the Bible is like, it is not a self-help book on how to become a good person. It is a book that paints the reality of who we are and how short we fall and how undeserving we are, but how we somehow get it anyway because we have this completely loving and generous God. It's the only book that has nothing to do with you and everything to do with Jesus. And so in some ways, I think that's really unsettling and really unappealing to people because you can't control it. You don't have a say in it. It has nothing to do with how good you are or what you do. And it forces you to come face to face with your humanity, that you don't deserve it. That when you see these moments that you've decided are unjust or unrealistic or don't match the rules you've made in your own brain, which I'm a victim of on an hourly basis, not even daily, then like to set that aside and to accept a standard that you don't understand and gifts and blessings and generosity that don't make sense, and to allow the same for others. And then to continue in that is such a surrender day to day, which is beautiful and hard and icky.
Well, and I think it's important to note, yes, the Bible's different, but I could approach it like every other book.
Oh.
Right? So if I treat the Bible like a self-help book, if I treat the Bible
teach me to be a good person.
Yeah. Like if I just come works-based, I'm going to get similar results to any other religion. Right? Because I'm just coming to say, okay, how can I add this to my life and plug parts and pieces in a way where it will benefit me? And we completely ignore the lordship of Jesus Christ. Right? Christianity isn't like, hey, and sometimes it's been put forth this way, like, hey, accept Jesus, he'll make your life better.
He'll fix all your problems.
Yes.
Your life is going to be awesome.
It's true, but it's not what the Bible says. That's only part of it. Like, yes, there are benefits to accepting the Lord. But accepting the Lord isn't just like, hey, I check a box because I said a prayer that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Lord is the key one, right? Like we go, I've accepted Jesus into my heart and I realize he is the Savior. I'm like, okay, but he's saving you from you and meaning and sin. Right? That is in you. And so the only way that can truly happen is right now your master is yourself or sin.
Yeah.
And so now you have to decide that you want another master. And we, as our society, like this is a problem for us.
No.
Right? So like this whole idea of I need someone to lord over my life that is not me.
Yeah.
Who is stronger than me, who is smarter than me, who is more powerful than me, that knows the way to go. But for us to admit that as humans, no, I'm a strong, independent woman. I can do this on my own. Like I've got it together. That's like the badge of honor in our society. Oh. How much stuff can you get done? How much can you produce? Can you be? Yeah. How many boxes can you check? What level of productivity do you have? That is our standard. And that doesn't mesh very well with what Christianity really is. Surrender, waiting on the Lord, slowing down, like your life is not your own. Take up your cross, follow me. Like there's all of this side of it where we kind of want to push that aside. Yeah, we're like, no, we like this good stuff. Like God is generous and he's abundant and he blesses us and he's awesome and those are all true. And yet he's still asking us, hey, I want you to have no other gods before me.
Isn't that crazy that we will, like, so many come to Jesus moments are motivated by wanting God to save us from our circumstances, but really we just need to have him save us from ourselves. And you're like, no, I'm not the problem. Jesus, like, it's actually this and this and this. And if this was better, then I'd be okay. And it's like, it's you.
You're the problem. We were talking about this yesterday a little bit because I was just reading in the Gospel of Mark and how Peter denied Christ 3 times. Yeah. Right? Like they had the Last Supper and they're having this conversation and Jesus is like, hey, Peter, man, like you're going to deny me 3 times before the night's out. Like before the rooster crows, you're going to deny me 3 times. And Peter, in his zeal and excitement and humanity that we are, Lord, I would never do that. Like I will follow you till the moment you die. I will never leave you. Yeah. Right. And I love that. Let's be passionate and full of zeal.
Believe in that for yourself.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And at the same time, we have to face our humanity when it shows up and our sin and our brokenness, because there it was, right? 3 times in a row, like someone comes in, well, weren't you with it? No, I wasn't with him. What are you talking about? And I love that moment, though. It says the rooster crowed and then Peter wept, right? Like he got it. And I think those are the moments that we need more of in our life where you're like, I am so human. As much as I want to never deny Jesus, as much as I want to never screw it up, like I have all the passion and all the fire to do it. At the end of the day, I am human and I need a savior. Yeah. Like I need him. I am so broken. I cannot do this without him. And I just feel like more and more as we walk forward. And I feel like the Lord calls us into things to see the captive set free. You know, like friends who are struggling with things, and you're like, we need the power of God in our lives.
Yeah.
And if we don't have it, these people are stuck. I'm stuck. And then it's like, well, God, I don't know how to do that. Like, I need you. I need you to guide, to direct, to be Lord. I need to be surrendered to you, to be able to walk out what you're calling us to.
Yeah. And yeah, the best part is we do not serve a stingy God. Like, he's not stingy with his power and with his blessing. And
yeah, like you were saying, what father, you know, his son asked for bread and
gets a rock
gets
instead.
a rock, right? Like,
yeah. And you go, he's not like that. And so it allows you, because of his generous nature, it allows you to come to him with a posture of confidence in those circumstances that I think is so different from anything else.
Yes.
Which is wonderful.
Which isn't what you need to look at, right? Like, it's so easy to look at our lack or what's missing in our lives in any given moment and begin to think that God isn't generous.
Yeah.
Begin to think, oh, he's forgotten about me. Oh, that's not who he is. You say he's generous, but look at all this lack in my life, or look at where these things aren't happening, or look where the breakthrough hasn't happened for me.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to get caught up in staring at what you don't have, as opposed to looking at what you do have. You know, as we read through the word of God and we're sharing these different stories about who God is, like he shows up. Like, it would be a great exercise you could do over the next year. Read through your Bible and be like, where do you see the generosity of God show up? It's going to be on page after page after page after page, right? Like, I even think about, like, in the wilderness, when the Israelites are wandering in the wilderness, he supernaturally provides them food every day. They don't earn it. They don't work for it. They have to go and pick it up out on the field, whatever that is.
Bare minimum effort.
They do have to go and gather it.
Yeah.
But it shows up every day.
Yeah.
You know, this is the supernatural provision of God, because they didn't even know what to do. They're out there wandering in the wilderness, right? He has this fire by night, this cloud by day, leading and guiding them. You know, and even the crazy part is they start complaining. And it's like, well, we miss the food of Egypt, and we want meat. We're sick of this manna. Like, oh gosh, this supernatural provision is horrible, God. Like, and what does he do? It's like, you want quail? Fine, I'll give you quail. I'll give you want a generosity? There was so much, right? Like, over the top.
Yeah.
Here it is. And they're complaining. Like, that's not how I would operate. And be like,
someone whines at you and you're like, I'll give you what you asked for.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I am so generous that even in your complaining, I'll provide for you, and I will bless you, and I will be generous. That starts to hurt my brain a little bit, where you're like, God obviously thinks nothing like us.
No, I don't want to do that at all.
I don't know how we have a really hard time detaching earning something or deserving something, because I didn't deserve anything. With, like, out there complaining, and yet he still shows up, right? Water from the rock, quail, like, all of it. It's just like, I'll provide for you. Their clothes never wore out. Like,
yeah.
Not only is he generous, like, he has the power to be able to provide what is needed.
Yeah. He can execute on the generosity that he has.
Yeah, it's one thing to be generous with nothing. I mean, the woman who put the 2 coins in the thing, Jesus said, was like the most generous of all. Like, she had the greatest reward because she gave everything. But she didn't have the power to change the world in that moment. Like, it went really good for her.
Totally. She was having a good
like,
day.
as far as in the kingdom, like, storing up treasure in heaven, she got cha-ching. She just hit the lotto.
She did really good. Yeah.
Well, how about this one? Have you ever given someone a gift of whatever sort, and then you later see, like, either how they use the gift or give it away or neglect it, whatever, right? Like, have you ever had one of those experiences? You give a thing to someone else, and like, so for me, you know, you give someone something, and in my head, I'm just like, oh, they're going to love this because I love this, and I think they're going to love it, right? Like, so you build this narrative in your head. This is going to be amazing, right? And they're really going to appreciate this. But then it doesn't turn out how you had envisioned it, right? For whatever reason. And then have you ever had that happen and you're a little bummed out? No?
I think I am the gift destroyer.
The gift destroyer?
In this example.
Well, like
when you cleaned my car for me, I didn't know.
No, I don't think that.
I was like, oh, I didn't even notice.
No, that's not an example. Like, let me think of a good example. Well, I'll use a car. Like, I've never done this before. let's say you see someone and you have the means to get them a new car,
Wow.
right? And they're driving like an old beater and they're talking
Mhm.
about, they're complaining about it. That's unreliable. And they need to get the kids to school, right? Let's say you possess the wealth to get somebody a new car. And matter of fact, we have friends that they were on the receiving end of this. Now they treated the car well, I believe. But anyway, like somebody said, hey, go to the Lexus dealership or whatever you want and pick out whatever your car and let the salesperson know, right? And so that's amazing. So now let's pretend you've done this for somebody. You've bought them a brand new car. And then you're just like, oh man, this is great. It's reliable. It's clean. It's safe. Man, they're going to love it. And you see they just thrash it, right? Like they just totally neglect it and treat it like garbage. And then you start thinking like, man, should have never gave him that. Like, like that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen that happen, and I've been on the end of it where I've given a gift. I'm just like, oh man, they didn't really appreciate it as much as I thought they would. But here's the thing. It's like, in that giving, like you don't know at the time you're giving the gift, you don't know how it's going to pan out.
No.
So in my head, I think like, oh man, this is going to be cool. And then like later on, it might turn out, no, not as cool as I thought. Now, when God gives gifts, he already knows how you're going to steward it or not steward it. He already knows where your heart's going to be. Like, that's the point I'm trying to make, is like, all knowing, he still gives more generous, like the scripture, like what son asks his dad for bread or fish and instead gets a serpent, right? It's like, so you being filled with sin, if you know how to give good gifts, how much more than does your Father in heaven? So meaning God is the best gift giver.
Mm-hmm.
And so what blows my mind is that when he gives out of generosity, he already knows how screwed up you are and like how much of a letdown you're going to be, like in our eyes, right? But he still gives, like, just the way you will either mistreat the gift or neglect the gift or whatever doesn't change it. He still gives, and he gives out of complete love, and it's crazy. Wow. That's got you in the feelers.
Well, that's his son.
The most precious gift ever given and ever will be given in the entirety of all creation. Nothing trumps it.
And he knew.
Yeah?
He knew that there would be so many that would reject him.
Mm.
Right? Like, so many. Like, he wishes that none would perish. And yet so many people reject Jesus. And God's still like, no, it's worth it. I'm going to send my son so that there will be those that are saved. Right? And this gift. It's powerful.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just nuts. Can you imagine being a parent? None of us here are parents yet, but can you imagine being a parent where you offer your child to willingly become a sacrifice to set someone else free, knowing that the person that they gave their life for is not only going to not accept that gift, but even worse, turn around and badmouth you as the gift giver.
Yeah.
It's just mind-blowing, but yet doesn't change them. That's what I would consider awesome. We were talking about that in another podcast of like reserving that word awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Only for God.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
the pizza wasn't awesome.
That pizza.
Don't care.
That pizza pales in comparison by God's generosity, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a perfect example of the appropriate use of God's awesome, like his generosity, unmatched.
Wow. My prayer is so right now just building up. It's like, God, let us open up our eyes to see, like help us to understand. Because even as we speak about the generosity of God, I just feel like I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I am so works-based. I know how the system, like we earn it, we deserve it, all of that. Right. And then there's just this whole realm of like, no, like he doesn't think that way. He thinks you're worth it, even if you reject him, even if you walk away. He's like, but I've given you my son. I've given you the greatest, most precious gift I could ever give, and I'm not going to take it back. And many of you could still reject it. And because I love you, it's still worth it. That's wild to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a whole realm of understanding the generosity of God that we do not understand. Like, just as we're having this conversation, I'm like, I don't.
We're realizing it live.
Yeah,
we don't understand.
Exactly.
We don't
I'm
understand.
Like, wow,
this.
cool topic. We made a list of all these topics, and this one was like this idea of him being self-giving and generous. And I thought it was another topic, but now I'm like a little bit ruined. Being, what is this thing?
We have no idea.
It's become more of a question now than a discussion to me, because I'm like, I'm so genuinely curious or hungry or wanting to know, what is the actual generosity of God and how do I receive that in my life? And we think, like, he said to Abraham, like, hey, I've blessed you so that you can be a blessing to the nation, right? That is who God's people are. Like, we are actually called to experience the generosity of God so much so that overflow, you read in the Bible all over, overflow is such a, like, it's a concept, right? Like, it's in the Psalms. It's who God is. Like,
it's cover to cover.
Yeah. There's idea of abundance and overflow and more than enough. And so then my next question after, okay, God, I want to know your generosity, because I believe it's actually meant to flow through us. Like, we're meant to represent the generosity of God to the people around us, the ones that are in the family of God and the ones who are not. Like, we're meant to put that on display. Like, he's not only stingy, but he's not stuck in poverty.
Yeah.
He's not helpless and hopeless. Like, there's all these kind of things that begin to fall into that category when we start to get, like, maybe stingy is the word, right? Like, we hold tightly to things because we're like, well, there's not enough.
Scarcity mindset.
Scarcity, yeah.
This idea, yeah.
I think that might be damaging the body of Christ more than we understand.
Oh man, what is it? It's making me think about the where Jesus is talking about parables. Was it Jesus? Oh gosh. Well, in the Bible where it's no, like if a Roman asks you to carry something for a mile, like go for two. If somebody asks for your cloak, like give them something, it's like go over and above, and it's in that, like, as I was describing in the beginning of we, like, I will give a gift with no knowledge of how it's going to pan out in the future, and yet God's not like that. But it's interesting that I think we're called to give gifts like he gives. So for instance, the whole thing about, like, be kind to your enemies, because it'd be like heaping burning coals in their lap, like to be kind and generous even to your enemies, right? And those who are persecuting you. And it's like, there's an example. I think we're called, as Christians, we're called to, it's like, hey, okay, how about give a gift to somebody that's bad mouthing you, and they have no favor and they've earned no merit with you to deserve a gift by worldly standards. Give, and give generous. It's like, blows your mind.
I think the problem becomes the give generous piece. Like, I think, for me anyway, you can become so calculated. Like, okay, I'm going to give to my enemy because I believe that this is going to affect them in such a powerful way that they're going to come to know the Lord and they'll get saved. Or, like,
an agenda.
You're still making it a game. Oh,
we do that with healing too. Right, God, we pray this way all the time. God, heal that person in the hospital so that
they may know
that, yes,
that's
so that
me,
they would come.
Me.
You know what I mean?
Oh my
And
gosh,
nothing's wrong with that. That's what Jesus did. But we kind of have this, like, I don't know. Again,
you're still trying to make it.
I'm circling back around to say I don't know what giving generously is, because I feel like I have a little bit of like a backstory to everything. If I do this, then this should happen. You know what I mean? Like, what does it look like where you truly do give no strings attached?
You had stories of that with when you did your internship, like praying for people, and it's like when it's like you're praying and you're motivated by just a compassion for the person. Like you care about the individual in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
not like you're saying, not so that they would be healed, so that God would be glorified, or not that, no agenda other than you love them so much that you want to see them well.
Yeah, I think it is that. It is catching God's heart. But it's interesting to think about it in this context. Can we catch God's heart to be generous? That the motivation would simply be, I'm a child of God, and the generosity of God has so filled my life
Mm-hmm.
that I want that to flow
Mm-hmm.
into the lives of those around me based on his prompting, his leading, his spirit. There's no formulas is the problem. You know what I mean? Like
I know.
we so want to bake it down
We're like,
into
but
like.
could you just give me the answer? I almost, the like feeling and sense I'm getting, and I'm probably am wrong, but I'll say it anyway, just because we're just wondering here together. But even as you're talking, you're like, your suggestion or your comment was about like going and finding someone who doesn't deserve it, or even the comment of like finding God's eye for this person. And I think that both those things are good and true. But what if you just took the other person out of the equation entirely and they didn't actually have anything to do with it? That would probably be a really easy way to cancel out strings attached or motivation. A picture of what I mean by this. I was listening to part of a sermon. She's really famous. Her name might be Savannah.
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah.
No.
She's really young and Southern and has some kids.
No idea.
Oh, okay. I don't know. She said a great line. This is the worst credit ever given, but if you find it, let me know.
We'll put it in there.
Yeah, we'll put it in there. And she was talking about how she had this conversation with her mom when she was a teenager about when someone was being mean to her, so she was because of this. And her mom was like, well, that's not very nice of you. And she's like, well, I don't have to be nice because She goes, well, you're not nice because they're nice. You're nice because you're nice. So this idea of like, you're not generous because they're generous. You're generous because you're generous. Or even the other way around, where it still can get twisted, is you're not generous even though they're not generous. Like it has nothing to do with the other person. It doesn't matter whether they're nice or generous or mean or unkind or all those things. Like if that becomes part of the equation, then you're adding strings attached. Like I don't know how as a human you would set it up not that way. But if you were like, okay, me and God are going to work on this thing together. I am generous. God, show me ways where I can be generous. And it's just about you becoming generous, not about how generous or not generous this other person is. You're probably going to get like maybe that little bit closer into capturing the heart of what God's generosity is like. Because like you said, he already knows that we're going to be poor with it and that we'll reject him and all these things. And so if you're not worried about getting rejected, if you're not worrying about how the other person will treat your generosity, if you're not worried about the outcome at all, and you just go, I'm going to be generous because I am generous, then I think that you end up having better motivation.
It's
I don't know
almost
what the word
like
is.
you're putting blinders on to the need. You just give regardless.
Well, because it's about you, not them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in a healthy way. Meaning,
that's it.
Because you could even take it one step forward. It's like, I'm generous because Jesus is generous.
Yes.
Right? And I follow Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to look like Jesus. I want to heal like Jesus. I want to bless like Jesus. Like I want to do all of these things, not for any of my self-image, not because I can gain anything, but because this is what followers of Jesus do. Right?
Yeah.
Like you will know by our fruit if we are a Christian or not. Like we should be able to read the book and look at the person and go, yes, that person is a follower of Jesus because they look like what I'm reading.
Yeah.
Right. And that is the thing. So it shouldn't be about like, it just should be, hey, we do this because this is what followers of Jesus do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're talking about the Southern girl with kids that you can't remember her name, it's making me, the Bible, like once again, just, it's dope, if that's the word that the young kids use. It's amazing that, Jesus's Sermon on the Mount, I believe in there, he's talking about, saying like you love those who love you or something like that, because like even sinners do that.
Yeah.
It's easy to love those who love you. Like, well, that's cool. Like even sinners do that. It's like, no, like how about love those who hate you?
Yeah.
Right. Like and I think he's painting that picture of, it's not about like, I'm nice to this person because they're nice to me. It's like, no, I'm just nice because I'm nice because
Jesus is nice.
Jesus is nice. Right.
Yeah. It has just like another notch on the vote of like, the Bible is not about you being a good person. You're not nice because they're nice or nice because they're really mean, so you're going to be nice. You're just nice because Jesus is nice. You're just generous because Jesus is generous. Like, you don't need another motivation or a reason. That's just the way it is. God, it's very simple.
Yeah. Simple gospel.
Simple.
So do we have stories of seeing God's generosity in our own lives? I hope we do, but
I'm trying to think of mine. I could name 7 of yours. Yeah, I'm trying to think for myself right now, but I'm like, how are you guys quiet right now? I could name so many.
we have an interesting. There's a very recent one. We're just kind of in a season of not really knowing where income is going to come from fully. As far as
what a way to phrase that.
I know. We're just wait. We know it comes from our provision.
We don't
fully,
know where our money is.
Our provision fully comes from God.
Yes, truly.
Is how we see it. But there can be different channels. Let's call them. So the one channel where the income was flowing quite steadily has kind of dried up a little bit, and now we're on this kind of watching to see where God opens up a new channel. And I think those channels can be consistent, like like a new job or a new contract or a new whatever, right? Like that can be a consistent flow, or he can just kind of pop things in here, there, and everywhere, right? And so we recently there was an offering at church, and we just we prayed about it, and we felt like God gave us a certain number to offer to this year-end offering thing. And so we did that, and whatever, it was a sacrifice for us, all good. And then so wild in that, we're going back around and just living life right now and just very much being like, okay, not really sure where everything's going to come from, but God's always provided. My dad recently actually had a heart attack, so we stopped working more because we went down to California to be with him and to kind of bring him back up here and all of these things. And I just love how God is like, hey, I've got you. And I don't even think this falls into the generosity category. I just think this falls into the provision category, right? Where it's like, he just looks after his kids, right? And so I would argue maybe this isn't even a generous story. This is just baseline.
I think it feels like generosity.
That's good.
I wish it felt like baseline.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's part of our discovering the generosity of God. And I feel like he is really tapping me on the shoulder to say, hey, you haven't even seen this as much as you think. Right? Like, we're just getting started. So it was just the simplicity of a tax return, which was much larger than we've ever had, and pretty much the same amount as we gave. And you're just like, God, that's wild. How does this happen? And so, yeah, he just shows up. But again, is that generosity or is that provision? I don't know.
Can't it be both?
Maybe his generosity is his provision.
The manna and the quail was also provision.
That's true.
But
he's generous. And he gives more than enough. Now it's like they fed the 5,000. Well, they need all those leftovers for.
Still provision, but also a little above and beyond.
Yeah,
it's
he's
just
more
a little
than
sprinkle.
Enough. God's more than enough.
That's true. Tons of leftovers.
12 baskets.
12 baskets precisely. He loves that number.
12. The other one was 7?
7.
They fed the 4,000, 7 baskets left over. I said the 5,000, there was 12 baskets left over.
Oh, so like 3s.
How big were these baskets, do you think?
Huge.
I always pictured them very big.
I picture them like flat and large.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know. Yeah.
Deep pillar.
Deep and wide.
It's one. Yeah, it's this or it's this. It's a platter or I don't know.
That's based on no historical understanding or information.
No, it's just how I feel.
Yeah.
I picture those images of like African women carrying balance in the basket on their head.
Big.
Yeah, big.
Why is it big?
Those are huge.
Has anyone pictured a small basket? I'm going to start doing a survey.
There's like a little, it's a bread basket. They're like 12 bread baskets.
12 baskets. And I could have been, I don't know, but I don't know. It's just interesting.
That's not my God.
Yeah.
My God
Put in the comments.
How big
what
do
size
you
basket
think?
do you picture in your head? Not based on research. If you have the truth, I'd like to know that too, but I'm just curious. Because everybody has.
I only want the truth if it's big and impressive. I don't want
Everybody's read that story in the Bible. Who's read that story in the Bible? They must have pictured something, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to not picture something.
Yeah. And then, also taken for granted or taken into account how we've had the image we have in our heads been sullied by numerous TV shows.
Of course.
Where they depict it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could have been influenced.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His generosity, I mean, a lot of times when I start my prayers, it's just with thankful, like, God, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just
Amen.
thanking him. And it's so easy to just thank him. Oftentimes in there, it's for every beat of my heart and every breath of my lungs. Like, he's generous that, I mean, whether it sounds cheesy or not, that
Mhm.
his life giver, you know, I mean, he's generous that it's like, man,
So much air.
our hearts beat without us having to work for it, or like it beats while we sleep. You know,
Somebody should look up
Mhm.
what that word means in the Bible.
What's that?
Generous.
Generous.
We don't have a research fund yet.
I know. We'll get there.
Research fund or
Phone.
phone?
Yes.
Phone. We need a
Tablet.
research fund
Tablet.
Yeah.
for our research
For
phone.
our research phone.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, don't know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could think of
Okay, share one.
dozens of things.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I've just shared two, like my heart, my lungs.
No. We're talking about
Like
above
testimonies.
and beyond generous God.
above and beyond.
Yeah.
He's extravagant.
Extravagant generosity. Not that your heart and your lungs aren't kind of extravagant,
That's extravagant.
but at the same time, in my brain right now.
But I do have to be honest. I hesitate a little because I don't want to just start rambling off like things that materialistic things, like, oh, there's this and this, because yeah, I don't know. I don't want to come across as like, for our car, for example, right? So you were the recipient of riding in our other vehicle many a times and noticed its slow demise. And for those listening and watching, yes, we had an older car that was coming out to the end of its lifespan. Felt like it could catch fire at any moment because the temperature gauge was always pinged in the red. And then it got to the point where the rear wheel bearings were going out and they were so noisy, I was afraid that a tire would fall off along the drive. So I didn't like Amy driving to work anymore. So anyway, we were in need of a car. And this is in the midst of like, hey, the revenue stream dried up. So often in our prayer was like, Lord, we would want a new car. And then just lo and behold, there was some circumstances opened up for that to happen quite easily and above and beyond, what I would have thought. Like, it exceeded my expectations. And it turns out, like, shortly after we got a brand new car, we used
that big
it.
road trip.
We used it for a road trip to go visit Amy's father, who had a heart attack.
Which is pretty wild because, I was driving back by myself because you left early. And we ended up driving through the rain and through the snow. Like, I'm bringing my parents back after he's had open heart surgery, and we've been spending all that time. And there's no way we could have taken our old car down. There's no way that we could have driven them back. Like, it's, when you look at something like that, it's easy to think, oh, a new car, like it's just this material thing. And you're like, no, actually, this was significant in the safety of our family, being able to bring them back and do this whole thing where we could drop everything and just be, yeah, we can go, we can do this. And I think a really cool thing in that whole story is that, like, it was so amazing just to see the generosity of the people in our lives, how they rallied around us in that situation, right? Like, all of a sudden, instantly, like at work, at the gym, my boss loves Jesus, and she's just right away, she's so awesome. Because at first, we weren't going to go. We heard he had the heart attack. We were like, okay, I think it's, my aunt and my cousin went down to kind of be with my mom and with them and figure that whole thing out. And so we were like, just kind of hesitating, weren't really sure about it. And then 2 days later, or a day later, I think it was just a day later, you were really feeling strongly we needed to go. And so thankfully we had the car to go. But then I reached out to my boss, and she's like, yeah, I was really feeling from the beginning like that you guys should go. So she's like, I will take care of all your shifts. I'll get everything covered. Just go. You don't have to worry about a thing. And I was like, that's the generosity of God. Like, in the midst of a crisis, and obviously your brain doesn't think very straight, right? When you're like, what's going on right now? I don't even know what to do. To have people just step up and be like, yeah, that's easy. I've got this.
You can drop and run.
Yeah. You just go do what you need to do. We've got this over here. And to me, that was so the hand of God and his generosity.
Yeah. And it's funny too, like, it still seems silly to me, but even the things of like, he knows the desires of our hearts. I believe he knows the desires of our hearts. And when I was wanting a new car for us, and especially like for Amy to have a reliable car to get to work. But also in my heart's desire, my mind was, and yeah, in hindsight now I see maybe why I was thinking this, but at the time I'm like, why am I worrying about this? One of the criteria for a new car, I wanted a car that would be really nice for our parents to get in and out of. Like that would be easy for them. Like it wouldn't be like a low, sports car or something. Like, so I had our in-laws and like my dad, I had our parents in mind, even to the point of where when I went to go test drive it and got away from the dealership and coming back to the dealership, I pulled over and I had the sales guy, I was like, hey, you drive back to the dealer. I want to ride in the back because I want to see how this would feel for my parents. And so it was like this desire of like, I want a car that's comfortable for the parents. And then now like looking, here's the car that Amy's dad, who had just had an open heart surgery, him and his wife, like my mother-in-law, had to drive, well, basically 2 days worth from Northern California all the way back up to Vancouver Island in. And I was like, like here I was wanting a car that would be comfortable for the parents. And lo and behold, they had a car that they were comfortable in for a long car drive. And that wasn't even on my radar. I would have never thought like we would have done everything we just did with it.
I think it's interesting too, like my parents were driving up in an RV. They had to pull the RV off at a rest stop, unhook the car, drive the car to the hospital, and they went from there. So this RV essentially got abandoned on in a restaurant, like half an hour away. And it was so cool to see God provide in that moment where one of the nurses in the hospital lived in an RV park and understood like the RV was stuck there. So he called the owner of the RV park. She had actually had, unfortunately, her husband had died while they were traveling and had a stroke. So she had such a heart for my mom. And so she called a buddy of hers. They went down with my mom to go pick up the RV, bring it back, set it up at the RV park, take care of them. And then this woman just like loved on my mom like crazy because of her past experience, and you're just like, part of that too is like the blessing and the generosity of people. Like you have to have some capacity. Like, you know what I mean? Like if your life is so full and someone else's crisis shows up on the doorstep and you have no room or no margin,
yeah,
like it's really hard to allow the generosity of God to move through you.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's that kind of an interesting question of, Lord, are there areas in my life that I need to let go and surrender? Like, are there things I'm doing that are just clouding my life with more stuff or more busy or more whatever? Because maybe you actually are wanting to flow through me in this generous way, but I'm too busy to notice, and B, I just don't have time. It's like, I don't want to live my life that way.
No.
I want to have some room in my life so that you're like, yeah, where can I actually be generous? I think it's hard to be generous if you feel like you're maxed out, burnt out.
It's basically impossible. You're just trying to survive. Yeah, no, that's so true.
But if you are trying to be generous under your own strength, you can get burnt out.
True.
Trying to be generous.
So I would say a little check-in, like if right now you're like, this conversation is kind of irking you a little bit. You're like, I don't have any time to be generous. Like, what are you even talking about? Then maybe we're a little on the edge of like trying too hard or working too hard or need more Jesus. I'll bless you through that.
And once again, that's probably somewhere in the Bible about, you try and do things in your own strength.
It's probably somewhere.
It's not going to work.
No.
But by his strength.
Yes, we need him.
But yeah, that's where the motivation part comes back again. You're like, if you try to be more generous because now after listening to this, you think you should be, or you realize that. And so you're back in the earning checks and balances situation and you're going to get burnt out.
So yes, the moral of the story is don't strive to be more generous.
No, just be more generous because Jesus is generous.
That's right. Wait on the Lord. That's been the theme lately. Be in prayer, get filled up so that you actually have something to be generous with. We talked about like God can be generous because he has the abundance, like he has access to everything. And so I think to our ability to be generous is probably based on how connected we are to him and the things that he wants to flow through our lives. Because that's the generosity we need. Like, it's nice to do nice things for people. But if you actually want to see people's lives transformed and like changed, it's only by the power of God. It's not because I gave you a nice gift.
No.
I'm trying to think of a witty t-shirt phrase, something about, bashing karma. Because I had the karma, right? Wouldn't karma be just a distorted works-based thing? Because karma is you do good things and the universe will reward you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just gross.
I mean, I see how it can get to it. I mean, it does talk about treat others how you want to be treated. Like, that is biblical. But karma's kind of turning it into transactional.
Karma.
And it doesn't explain the when bad things happen to good people thing that makes people so upset. So you're like, it's a bad system.
Yeah. Karma's bunk, yo.
Just wrong. It's not how it works.
More Jesus.
More Jesus, less karma.
There
That's your t-shirt.
More Jesus, less karma.
There we go.
What? See? Gold mine.
What are we sleeping on here?
Wow.
Yeah.
We got to start our merch store.
What a nightmare.
Well, final thoughts?
I liked your comment about reading the Bible in search of God's generosity and making note of those things when they happen. And I think in parallel to it, doing that in your own life is extremely beneficial. I have a book I call my stupid gratitude journal. I haven't used it in a long time because I just have a bit of a chip on my shoulder about gratitude sometimes, where I'm like, I'll be grateful when there's something to be grateful for. It's kind of how I feel. Or I'm like, it was okay. It could have been better. Like, that is the way that my brain goes, which is not helpful in terms of finding generosity or gratitude or any of those things that I know are good for me and good and from God. And so I developed a practice. I've slipped off, I'll admit it, but of having a gratitude journal that I would fill out every day. And it so helped me see the daily generosity of God. Like, we have these stories of these cool big moments when your dad is sick or when you get a car, and those are like big and extravagant. And God does do those, but there's also a very small daily way that he cares for you. The man on the wilderness style generosity, that if you can catch that and grab hold of it, it changes the way you feel about your life and the way you feel about God. And then what you search for is what you find. So if you know that God is generous because you've seen it, then you have this expectation that God is generous. And then when you pray with expectance that God is generous and you live your life that way, it changes everything.
Absolutely. I remember I went through a season once. I don't remember who said it, but I caught onto this idea like that God would give me a rose every day. And so I would search for that.
Like, not a literal rose.
No, but where like something would show up in my day that would symbolize, oh, that's you, God. There you are. Right. And he would give me a rose every day. And I just remember I would look for it. Right. Because you're like, well, God, you're going to give me this rose every day. And I would see it in these different things. Like I remember we were at church service once and this little girl was just like dancing around. And then she just ran over and gave me a hug. And I'm like, well, there's my rose for today. So looking for those areas where like, hey, God is here. He's moving and he's in our midst. Are we willing to search for it, to see it, to look for it, and even ask for it?
Totally.
God, where do you want to reveal yourself to me today? God, where's your generosity today? God, what is it that I can be grateful for today? And I love that when you're like, when we have expectation that God's going to show up, he meets us in that place. It's pretty funny.
Actually, it was pretty hilarious.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for being here and following Cultivate Connection. We really appreciate you being a viewer and a listener, however you're consuming this content. So thank you from me, Lee, Marika, and Amy. Thanks for being with us. It's for you is the reason that we put out this content. So
it's true. And if you like this, great news. We have more than just this one episode. We actually have multiple seasons of this conversational style podcast. And there's also hundreds of meditations out there that you can utilize as well.
So we want to encourage you to like, subscribe, follow all the buttons, share with your friends, comment below. If there's any topics actually that you would like to hear about, throw it in the comments. We would love to hear back from you.